Hey everybody, welcome back to RavenHawk Coins, and in this one guys, we are continuing the How to Become a Coin Collector series. And in this episode, I want to cover the supplies and the various books that you may need, some of your options of being a collector, ways to take advantage of coin roll hunting, and searching to turn around and get higher grade coins. So basically, negotiation tactics and strategies for being a more efficient coin collector. So one of the things that you want to start off with, of course, is having yourself a red book. This is key to being a collector. This tells you the retail values. If you want a better idea of dealer values, they do have the blue book, but if you want the real value, you want to invest in what's called a dealer gray sheet. Those aren't very cheap, but they do have the best information, and it kind of gives you an advantage when you're negotiating for prices. If you're into currencies, these are one of the books I have. I love the World War II military currencies, so I wanted to show this book because this is something that I actually had to find in a bookstore, and this is an old book, but it helps a lot when you're trying to figure out different things for foreign currency, especially military script. And I have some other books, regarding currency, but I just wanted to give an example. Finally, this PCGS guide you get as being a member, and this is very key if you start having graded coins, or you want to, excuse me, you want to know as far as what coins are selling for. This guide is great, and if you look, it's pretty expensive. It's a $15 magazine, but it gives you a lot of useful information and lets you know, again, like I said, what the high grade coins are selling for. So we're going to come over to here, and these items here, these are the cardboard flips. This one here is actually designed for pennies. This here is for the half dollars, I believe. I like using the larger ones because, to be honest, it gives you a little more advantage when you're looking at the coin. You can see the rim and everything versus, when you have a tighter fitting flip, it makes it kind of hard. Another thing that's good for storing your coins is these plastic tubes, or tubes like this. They're pretty inexpensive. I think these plastic tubes for the Morgan dollars and whatnot cost about $1 or so a piece on eBay. These here, sometimes you can get these for free if you're buying things by the roll. One of the most important things you're going to need is a jeweler's loop, and these are this is the perfect thing. This was a gift from my friend AJ, and I'm really glad to have this. Because my last one got destroyed, but this is a 10 power loop, and this is what they would use to grade coins. So this helps you know what you're looking at better than microscopes, because some of the USB microscopes, although they're nice and they're relatively inexpensive, they can actually kind of make things a little bit too enhanced. You're going to want to get yourself a supply of the white gloves, the cotton gloves, and make sure that you order a size that's larger, or I'm sorry, purchase a size that's larger than what you're normally used to using, because quite frankly, the way they size them, they are super tight and kind of not fun to get your hands into, to be honest. So I would suggest you just getting an extra size, and that's something that's really cool. If you're going to do currency, you want to make sure that if you have nice bills such as these star silver certificates here, that you keep them in these little bill holders. These bill holders can be as cheap as about 35-40 cents a piece, but it can be as expensive as $1 or so, and you can get some very heavy duty ones that have little screws and really protect them. But no matter what, make sure you have something like this to put them in. Because that'll protect them. Like I said, these are really good for protecting your silver rounds and bullion. These little boxes are also great because this is where the flips come from. But when you're done using them, it's a good way to organize your coins. You'll see these at a lot of shows that coin dealers will have rows of these with their coins just in them, all ready to go, because you know, it's a lot more convenient. Another thing you want to do is, if you like currency, is you can do this. You can get yourself a binder, and they sell these flips that, you know, for big plastic flips that you can keep all your bills in. And this kind of gives you an idea. This is only one of the binders I have. I have many. And I have, you know, random bills here that I still have yet to put in protective spots, but at least you see they are in a protective cover, which, you know, I try to stay consistent with that. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the ways to take advantage of coin roll hunting to get better things. To give you an idea, the majority of war nickels you see here, I've actually found these while coin roll hunting. A good amount of these silver dimes, it's the same thing. I've done a lot of coin roll hunting. The silver quarters, not so much. You don't find very many silver quarters, but I've been lucky and I've gotten some good deals on buying some quarters recently. So I try to make sure that I have different denominations, because part of coin collecting and stacking is making sure that you're prepared for, you know, an economic collapse, or, you know, a major disaster. Because if something happens, paper money is not going to go as far. It'll just stop having value. And what people are going to want is, they're going to want silver, they want copper, they're definitely going to want gold. So, you know, I want to make sure that I have different things on hand, so that, you know, I don't show up to somebody and, let's just, for example, say this was a 10-ounce round, even though it's 2 ounces. Let's say I try to give this to somebody and I want some bread and some other things. Well, if they don't have a bunch of silver, how are they going to pay me back? So it doesn't make sense not to diversify. That's why I try to keep it like this. But another cool thing is, while you're coin roll hunting, and if you find enough war nickels, you can turn the war nickels around and sell them for usually on average about $1 a piece in melt value for the silver. And actually, 2 war nickels are more silver than one 90% dime. And that's because war nickels are so much larger, and even though they have 35% silver in them, the overall silver content in 2 war nickels is more than the dime. That's just a little tip that I wanted to tell you guys. But the cool thing is, you could take your war nickels that you paid 5 cents for a piece in your time searching through stuff, and sell a roll off for, say, $40. Well, with that $40, you know, silver right now is roughly $16 or so an ounce. You can take that $40 and go buy yourselves a couple of rounds of bullion, or you maybe get yourself a Fortitude round from SALIVATE Metals, or, you know, you turn around and get a four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. There's ways to make your money work for you, and one of those ways is hustling and spending your time really looking through boxes of coins. You can do this with any denomination. You can find great coins in pennies, nickels, dimes, half dollars, and sometimes quarters. You know, you just have to stay with the numbers. You have to be consistent. Another supply you're going to need is a good scale, because you're going to want to be able to check your coins for validity. A lot of errors will have a different weight than what it is in a book, so that helps you know, especially when you're looking, if you're into hoarding copper, which, as you can tell, I have jars here, and this jar is starting to almost be done. You know, I hoard copper as well, and this really helps when you're dealing with the 1982 pennies. You know, so there's a lot of options. I also wanted to talk about, when, you know, dealing with banks. Once again, you know, I've talked about this before, but be really polite, be honest with what you're doing, and a lot of times they'll help you, you know, so you can make informed, good decisions. And finally, on the stacking of silver, there's always great options like the semi-numismatic collector rounds, like the antique succubus. This is still just an unbelievable round, probably one of my favorites, actually my favorite that I own, out of its beauty. I have other ones that are more precious to me just because of sentimental value, but this thing, for its sheer beauty, guys, you can't go wrong. And things like this that have limited runs are pieces of art. so you have to take that into consideration. Make sure you go onto eBay as well. If you go onto eBay, you can do special searches that help you watch things. I like to search for items that are ending soonest, and make sure that you use United States dealers that have really good reputations, because they love their 5-star ratings, and this will also help you get really good deals. Also, keep your eye out. Sometimes there's people that are really trying to offload what they call junk silver, or silver, like I was telling you, that would be good for trading in a disaster. You can sometimes get the silver for pretty much spot or close to spot, or what people would want to call melt value a lot of times. Sometimes that term is mixed up together. I hope all these tips and ideas help you. These are just some things that I've learned over the years, and we will continue this series, again, down the road with some more ideas and ways to be a efficient coin collector. If you want to correspond, it's RavenHawkCoins@gmail.com. Our post office is P.O. Box 2825, Vista, California 92085. RavenHawk Coins. Have a great day.